we talk about Kail Lowry and her fourth baby daddy, Elijah Scott. This story was huge last week. We were all minding our own business when all of a sudden a girl from TikTok named Britt came on, started sharing photos and videos alleging that she had some sort of like a hookup relationship with Kail Lowry's baby daddy, Elijah Scott. She showed all sorts. They were on a cruise together, a cruise that Kail paid for him to go to with his brother. And Elijah spent that cruise following her and her friend around, partying with her and her friend. She even had a picture of her, it was a screenshot from a video of her holding onto his watch and stuff. And like, she was like, it looked like she was holding his whole hand. I was like, girl, Elijah, you were an alleged husband. You are a father of 3 plus 4 bonus children. What are you doing running around behind these 2 single ladies on a cruise, having all of these photos and videos taken of you and allowing this girl to be holding onto your hand like this, but it was like this, so it looks more romantic, like this. It just was a terrible look, right? People were tagging Kail like no tomorrow, begging her to come out and speak about this. She hasn't come out to speak about it yet. And she also was noticeably absent on today's episode or this week's episode of the Coffee Convos podcast. Uh-oh. Why do you guys think that she's not here? Do you think that it's because she is hurt by the rumors going out? This is shocking. This is hurtful because, again, as someone who listens to Kail's podcasts every single week, I gotta say that she really thought that this guy was a dependable guy, that this was a guy that would never ever cheat. Like she thought that this was the safe bet for her. Right. And like, we've always been talking about this in our recaps as well, that in my opinion, I don't think that there's like a strong, crazy attraction from her towards him. I feel like she likes the stability that he provides. I think she loves that he, takes on the majority of the childcare when it comes to the little kids that they share. I think she likes that he does the majority of the housework. Remember, I was telling y'all in one of her podcast episodes, I think it was Coffee Convo, she was talking about how her dishwasher in her house broke down a year ago. And so Elijah's been washing everybody's dishes for the past year, in addition to doing all the childcare for the little children. Like, I think she likes that, So to find out that this guy that you think is so dependable and you're kind of, in my opinion, forcing yourself to like and pretend to be, all that attracted to find out that he's cheating on you. Ooh, whiplash. And she talked about how, like, in the past, she would be inspecting her boyfriend's phones and whatnot. But this time around, she's not doing it because she's finally with somebody that she fully trusts and doesn't have any kind of worries about. So to find out that guy that you truly trust, you don't have a single worry about, you might need to be worrying about. And from what I've heard some rumblings that there's another girl. There's another girl who claimed that she's been hooking it, but she didn't provide any receipts yet. So I don't know how legitimate her claims are, but there's another girl as well, allegedly, right? Acacia says, I think Kail is in damage control and trying to figure out what to do because it's true. Low-key, I think so too. Low-key, I think so too. I wouldn't be surprised, y'all, But again, I don't think she's going to leave him. She's got it made with him. Good morning, Bunny. I think she's got it made with him. Why would she leave it? She's got 7 children and she's only like, how old is she? She's like 34 years old, 4 different men. I think she knows if she leaves this man, good luck. And y'all know that Kail loves herself a relationship. She rarely stays single for long. So the idea of having to stay single is too painful for her. So I think she'd rather stay with her cheater, have the help, because in addition to the 7 children, 3 of whom are like babies, she's also got like 5 cats. She's got goats. I think she's got pigs. I think she's got chickens. She's got so much. She needs help, And I'm not talking about psychological help this time. She needs like help, like around the house. Bree says, I believe her. The photos were legit to me. Lots of people keep saying she's lying. I believe her too, 100%. I'm sad though. Why would he come into the life of a woman with all these young kids, make more kids with her, and then just do this, and harm all of these children. Like, that's crazy to me. If you're unhappy, leave. There's no reason to be cheating. Ramel says she's avoiding the topic because she's hurt, but she doesn't want to accept the fact that she had another former relationship, right? Maybe. And don't forget, she was cheating on that guy that she was with, Malik. Wasn't she cheating on Malik with Elijah? I can't keep up with her timeline because they are always overlapping, right? Hey, BR. BR says, I feel like she's going to try and dodge the rumor until it dies down. Yeah, I think so too. To be honest, it's low-key in her best interest to just let everybody forget about it. People forget quickly. You know, like the news was huge, huge, huge when it happened for 1, 2, 3 days. Died down. And now just like her absence from the podcast and stuff is what's getting us to talk about it again. But for a while, it did die down, did it not? Right? Malen says she's not hurt. She's more in love now that he has cheated. Listen, she does love a toxic love story, so maybe that's the case. Don't forget, you guys, at the end of today's episode of the Morning Report, we're going to be opening up the phone lines so that you guys could chime in with your thoughts on the stories that we covered today, of course, including this one, okay? I really want to hear what y'all have to say, so stay tuned for that. Kristen says, I don't think he cheated with that girl, but I also wouldn't be surprised. Ooh, what makes you think that he didn't cheat? You think that he was just gallivanting around with her, but like nothing further than that? Fair enough. Glenn says he's a bad boy. Adriana says she's Hulk smashing him. Oh, Lord, I hope not. I hope not. That would be so, so, so sad, you know, especially with children involved. That would lead to another Amber Portwood situation, because remember, that's how her legal drama with Leah started out, because she was Hulk smashing him, Gary, in front of her daughter, right? Stephanie says they might have an agreement for when they go on trips. Maybe a hall pass. I don't know. Maybe. Because you know what, to be honest with you, I don't think she's attracted to him. She talks about Chris like that is still the love of her life, right? Meanwhile, she's supposed to be engaged with this guy. She's got 3 kids with this guy. Bree said she's so embarrassing. Her whole life is about manipulation. I'm rewatching Teen Mom 2. She was bouncing around any guy who took care of her and Isaac. And it's so sad that like all these years later, it's still the same story with her, right? Angie says, Kail, show your face like you do, and it's not your business or place. Ooh, Angie. Angie says, come outside. We're not going to jump you. You just want to say something. Hey, Gwen, nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. Akeisha says, deadbeat Chris look better than Elijah right now. I'm just saying, listen, what she got with Chris, she knew she was a part of a harem. She knew she was a part of a harem. Poor children indeed. Well, Bree will take it. That's what I thought too. I said, I know Bree is over there, Birdman, rubbing her hands together, hoping to get a piece of that man now, right? Jessa says, they said you lose them the same way you found them. And he was with someone else when Kail got with him. Ooh, listen. And I think she was with Malik when she got with this guy, wasn't she? And she's been cheating in all her damn relationships. So although it is a sad situation for the kids, especially, I don't know that I necessarily feel sad for Kail in particular, just based off her own track record. Ooh, Star shaking the table. She says all men cheat. I don't feel bad for Kail. All men cheat. Kail is a cheater who has had a plethora of dating experience. This shouldn't be a big deal for her, but something to deal with. You know, the sad part is that there are, you know, her existing kids are yet again being uprooted from another like makeshift family situation. And now new kids are starting the cycle too. So young, you know? Hey, Evan, I don't know. In one episode, she felt like she had to give him kids. Oh, really? She felt that like the first time she boned him, because she got pregnant. She said she got pregnant the first time she boned him. So you mean to tell me this guy was living next to you? Y'all decide to hook up for the first time. And already in that first time, you're like, oh, I feel like I got to give you some kids. Oh, I'm sorry. You need to get your head examined. There's not you, Evan, but Kail. She needs to get her head examined because that is scary. That is scary. You know, oh my God. I wouldn't doubt that she said that though. She does like to lie a lot, and it's hard to keep up with all of her lies, right? Carly says, good morning. Good morning, Carly. Nice to see you. Birds of a feather indeed. Oh Lord, y'all. I'm definitely going to keep an eye out on all of this information. You know, I don't expect her to make a statement, okay? I think it would be smart for her to kind of just let all of this ride out. However, if she does, I will be here to talk about it with you guys. So although she didn't appear in today's episode of the Coffee Convos podcast, she was there for the Barely Famous podcast. So she had shot, let me find a picture. I don't have a Barely Famous one, my bad. So she had filmed this interview like a while ago. And I think this was before the scandal broke. And so in this week's episode of the Barely Famous podcast, she was interviewing Amanda Knox. Do y'all remember Amanda Knox? So she was an American student who had done an exchange at a university in Italy, who went away to study abroad. And she was accused of red remming her roommate. And it was this huge thing, a huge scandal. She was convicted, then she was acquitted, all sorts of things. If I'm remembering correctly. I wasn't really, I gotta be honest with you guys, like I think I was kind of young when the Amanda Knox situation came out. So like I only vaguely am familiar with her situation. And so now Amanda has written a book about how she, about how her life has been ever since being convicted and then being acquitted later on and whatnot. And so Kail was talking to her about it. And I don't know, and y'all remember, my channel members, you remember this. Because I did this video just yesterday, how Kail appeared on Caitlin and Tyler's podcast. And in Caitlin and Tyler's podcast, she kind of just took over the whole conversation and turned it into how, like, you know, woe is me. Everybody hates me because of the way that I was on Teen Mom 2. I make everybody sign NDAs. It's totally normal. Why don't you make your friends sign NDAs? People say I can't keep a friend, but some of our other co-stars can't keep friends. Like, it was just this whole weird thing, right? So in her Amanda Knox interview, like, you've got one of the most prolific, you know, criminal people or criminal cases, you know, someone from one of the most, you know, memorable criminal cases in front of you. And you want to whine to this girl. Oh my God, people don't like me. People see me as a villain, all this. I'm like, and I know that Kail has been in therapy for 7 or 8 years now. Okay. But at this point, I think maybe something else needs to be done to address like the hyper fixation that she has with the general public's opinion of her. Because yes, although there are a lot of people who dislike her, there are a lot of people who love her. She's got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 million followers collectively, right? She's making a living off of her podcast, which means that there's a certain listenership of people who like her and want to hear her opinions of things. So why is it that you're so bogged down and just, you know, deeply obsessed with the people who dislike you? It's a normal part of life, you know, having people who like and dislike you. I think that she did a great job interviewing Amanda. However, just the way that she just is constantly trying to steer every conversation she has with every guest, no matter the podcast, whether she's a guest on a podcast, whether she's hosting the podcast, but she's always so desperate to turn the conversation to how it's so sad that everybody hates me. It's so this, you know, I should be much more successful than I am now. I should be much for Kail. You're buying new mansions every year. You're building a farm. You're building these houses from scratch. You know, you've got so much amazing stuff going on right now. So why is it that you are just so obsessed with the people who dislike you? Why is that louder to you than the people who do like you? You know, I find that to be very, very, very like sad. You know, I wish she would take a moment to enjoy and be happy about the people who love her, right? But I digress. Okay, so Elsie is in the same kind of boat, you know, a little bit young for when all of the Amanda Knox stuff was coming out. You know, I do have to say that Amanda seems to be very much at peace with whatever has transpired in her life. You know, and it was rather surprising to me because she recently was convicted of something new, and then they said, okay, well, the time you served in jail already, like, it's going to count towards that. Kail says the Amanda Knox story is full of mystery. One thing she said that I found rather interesting was that, like, the guy apparently was a guy who had done it. I don't know who the guy was in these people's lives, but he recently also faced SA charges as well. And so she was saying, like, how crazy is it that the press kept focusing on me and what I may or may not have done, whereas this guy, you know, he's shown a repeated pattern of behavior because here he is in jail again for harming, you know, young women and girls, right? Crazy. Theo says, I saw the Amanda Knox. Oh, it's on live? Okay, I'm going to have to go check that out. I have Lifetime over on Philo, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what that's all about. Because, yeah, like, I only remember the name Foxy Knoxy being thrown around constantly and, like, not much else other than that. Abby says she may need a different kind of therapy other than talk therapy, maybe somatic or yeah, maybe something. Because, you know, it's a rumination issue, you know? And it's not good. It's not healthy. Because to me, it seems like she's got a lot of great things going for her, you know, in terms of like reach and stuff. So like, enjoy that, appreciate that, and focus on growing that. Bree says those people who like her have issues. Damn, who thinks this is healthy and normal? I really can't understand. Maybe it's a good thing. You know, unfortunately, there are many people who grow up in similar dysfunctional homes, you know, children of alcoholics or whatever, or maybe who find themselves in similar situations where they have multiple children by multiple men. And so they're like, okay, well, at least someone else is in this too. Let me see how she's living and just, you know, kind of go from there. I don't know. It is very interesting though. But I think for me, like, it's the personality. Her personality is very, very harsh and just very heavy and negative, which, you know, I do find very, like, you know, sad, disappointing. The just says Kail might have a rejection syndrome from her childhood. It's a real thing. Maybe, right? Michelle says maybe it's daddy issues. I don't know, but it's so sad. It's so sad. I'm like, girl, look around. Like, you know what I think? Like a gratitude journal or something like that would do her well. Abby says it's hard to feel like enough when the people who are supposed to love you abandon you. Maybe that's it. True. Maybe that's it too. I don't know, but it's sad. And she says, I don't even trust that Dr. Drew. Oh, Dr. Drew truly is something. I'm looking forward to seeing how he handles all this stuff, especially the Amber stuff at the reunion for this season of Teen Mom Next Chapter. Oh, Lord, guys. Anyway, I think that's it for the Kail stuff for now. Oh, I want to hear what y'all have to say about Amanda Knox. Give me 1 second. Cammy says Amanda's soccer teammates from high school called her Foxy Noxy. Ah, that's where it came from. Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay, so I had no idea. There you go. Can't understand why she keeps having children. Bizarre. Yeah. Now that she's taken her tubes out, at least, like, you know, that chapter's over for now. You know, maybe she'll find another way. She has still been talking about how she's looking into potentially adopting or like maybe some kind of IVF in the future if that's what I'm like, you know what, girl? Heal.